Scott, this is Kent with WHAS 11. What kind of an update do you have for Malik?
Yeah, he was back at practice today. I think so. He's good to go. He's basically got dinged up pretty good on that last hit. And our guys, our trainers, doctors, everything was precautionary, which is what we need to be doing in that scenario. And he got checked out at the hospital right after the game there, and he was on our plane that rode back with us. He's getting a lot better every day.
Scott Brown. Go ahead.
What's the reaction been back on the practice field with your team after back-to-back losses?
Well, we had a good practice today. Sunday, we got back out there and we had a good lift session in the weight room. Obviously guys were hurt and down, and it was just it's obviously very disappointing. I mean, you lose, we feel like it's a very solid Pitt team there, and you can't let a loss or two losses affect your football team. You got to kind of continue to look forward and continue to grow and to continue to get better. I mean, we didn't make enough plays in the game the other night, and offensively, obviously didn't play very well at all. The positive was that, we at the end of the game, we still got an opportunity to go win. We got the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter with opportunities to go take the lead and go win the game, and did not get it done. So, we got to, find different ways that we can do better. It starts right with me, and that's what I told them in the locker room. And look ourselves in the mirror and figure out what can I do to help the team. And am I going hard enough to practice? Am I, as coaches, are we putting our players in the best positions to make plays? I mean, all the things. And so, but you continue to work hard. We came out today, man. It was a great practice today. We're working a lot of fundamentals, just blocking, tackling, throwing, catching, all just fundamental work. And I thought our guys came out great today. It was a very spirited practice. A lot of guys flying around, and that's what it takes. And we got to continue to do that, and we got to continue to try to get better.
Scott Russ Brown with Kentucky today. Is Conley still the backup quarterback?
He is. Him and Puma both are fighting for reps there at the number 2 and 3 spots there at the quarterback position. So. But Conley's had a good 2 weeks there, and he's ready. He's ready if he gets an opportunity. I think he'll play well.
Coach, this is Kent Taylor from Wave TV.
Is there one or two things that you guys want to get done this week as far as getting better? I mean, I would imagine you said fundamentals and the totality, but is there one or two things you really want to shore up in this bye week?
Well, offensively, it was very disappointing up front. It starts with the offensive line. Everything that we do, offensively starts up front. And so when I talked about fundamentals, there were some things that we did not do very good at all the other night. And, and I'm going to give Pitt credit because their defensive line is obviously good. I mean, there's no question about it. And what they do is very good. But we did not play like we did the week before against Miami, which we think they had a very good defensive line and a good defensive front as well. And our guys blocked a lot better against Miami than we did this past week. And so what we're doing this week, getting back to fundamentals, and that just starts in stances, and then, aiming point when you're going to block somebody. I mean, all just little things like that I think that add up to be big things. And starts up front. It works to our tight ends and our H-backs. They did not do a very good job blocking as well. And, and it all starts there. Our skill guys can't make plays if we can't get them the ball. And that's what happened the other night. I mean, we couldn't get those guys the ball. We got 2-2 on behind the defense several times and couldn't get the ball out there. There's so much pressure that was put on, Malik, that even when he didn't have pressure, he felt like he had pressure. I mean, it was just kind of one of those nights. And, so getting back to fundamentals, I think, is essential, offensively. Same thing in the kicking game. Today was some great stuff in the kicking game. We're also this week looking at some young guys, where can they help? Where can they help potentially offense and defense, but really particularly on special teams, working those guys. And I see some of these young guys coming on. I think, Lovey is one, Minkins, Watkins, a lot of these guys that have really come on in the last couple of weeks. And so we're trying to find roles for those guys. And a lot of the times it's going to end up on special teams. And so really focusing on that type of stuff as well this week.
Coach, this is Kent Taylor from Wave TV.
Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, Coach, how much attention are you paying to what's going on at Notre Dame, and how worried are you that game might not be played on the 17th?
I'm not paying any attention to Notre Dame, so I really don't even know what's going on. I'm assuming you're talking about maybe the virus and contact tracing and that type of thing. But I don't even know what's going on there. Again, all our focus is on what we can do to get better here. There's so many things out there with other teams and this and that, and I just, I can't spend my time worried about that. I think we'll worry about that game when that game comes up, and I'm not saying that because that's what we do. We do that anyway, but I really have not seen anything as far as any other teams out there.
Scott, Coach Brown
again. Michael McCammon from Cardinal Authority. You mentioned kind of going back to fundamentals. When you face a team like Pittsburgh, is there something that you guys maybe when you're looking at the film review thinking, man, if maybe anything schematically, maybe if we'd have done this or done that, might have opened a little bit more opportunities, or is it just that difficult of a defense to work against?
Well, I think we start in the running game. I mean, there's we got plays there, and we took poor paths to guys. Our steps were not correct. It was really, for us, uncharacteristic. I mean, particularly when you came off, because matter of fact, we showed the offense today some film of the Miami and showed the same play against these guys, and we're not doing what we did against Miami. I mean, we opened up holes. Hawkins ran hard. We hit some, and that did not happen in this particular game for whatever reason. I mean, that's our job as coaches to make that happen. So there were plays to be made there. You can go back and look, and you think about, Tutu's behind the defense at least 3, maybe 4 times, and we don't connect. All you got to do is connect on one of those, and it's obviously a different outcome. We didn't connect on the one in the end zone, and we thought he caught it, and he kind of bobbled it right out the back of the end zone. I mean, there was plays to be made out there, even how they played. Now, I'm still going to give them credit. I mean, they're a really, really good defense. I mean, they led the country in sacks last year. They're probably leading it again this year. They're really good, but, there's some things that we obviously could have done a lot better, I think, to be able to make plays. And the other thing is we only had 51 snaps, and a lot of that comes back to us because of third down. We did not stay on the field to keep the drives moving so you can get more plays. But, against Miami, we had, I think, 88 snaps. That's a huge difference in play count there, where, you give us 30 more plays, you got a lot more opportunities to make more plays.
Hey, Scott, Cameron from the Courier Journal. When you guys played, obviously when you played Pitt, you tried to run the ball a lot, especially on first down. You guys are usually pretty even across the board when it comes to throwing and passing on first down. Was the game plan going into that to establish the ground game, even if kind of they were flooding the box on first down?
Well, yeah, we still felt we could have, and really, and that's what we want to do. As we've gone back, obviously a bye week's a great time to do some self checks, and we've gone back and looked at our offense in the first 3 games. We're about 50% on run pass on first down, and that's what we want to be. And we got in that game, and you feel like on the sideline, he was like, okay, we feel like we can run this play and run the ball, and it'll be a positive. But we just did not execute. I mean, that's the bottom line. And if you take away we had the 175-yard run that really kind of skews the first down average. Other than that, we really didn't do anything on first down. I mean, that was another thing that's very disappointing because we're usually very efficient on first down, and we make some really good plays on first down to keep us on the sticks, where you're looking at a second and short or second and medium, and we only had that 1 or 2 times the other night. I mean, that's obviously got behind the sticks, and that made it tough on third down because you think about third down, I think we had 4 plays that were 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7. Everything else was 3rd and 8 plus, out of the 11. So it's hard to pick up those long yard situations.
Scott, hey, it's Jody Demling with Cardinal Authority. You mentioned third downs, but when you look at the first 3 games, how big of a factor or deterrent has the field position been, and how much to try to work on getting that field position flipped moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not been good. I mean, this game we actually won the hidden yards, which is the hidden yards in the kicking game. It's the first time we've won it this year, but we only won it by like 16 or 17 yards. So, we're working on it hard. I mean, we got to punt the ball better. We're not getting the distance on the punts. We're not getting the hang time that we need on the punts. So we got to get a lot more consistent in the punt game. as you think about the return game, we had one opportunity Saturday at a punt return, and we should have been a lot better. We didn't get much on that. And in our kickoff return game, which last year I think Hall was third in the country, we have not been able to get any of that going. And so it's a good point you're making in the kicking game. We've got to figure out a way where we can flip the field in that game. It's such an integral part, of your team. I mean, we have, and it was last year for us, and we have to find ways in that. Now, we did a nice job. I think our guys executed on the fake punt that we actually stole a possession with that. That was a nice job. We ended up getting 3 points out of that. But, we've got to do a much better job in just conventional punting and punt return, kick return game.
One more for Coach.
You mentioned, Coach, about getting some young guys in this week. What is the plan for the week? Do you give them a little time off and kind of go through the week and how you have it set up?
Yeah, so we came right back on Sunday after the game and did our corrections and our meetings and went out and ran and get the lactic acid out, and then we gave them off Monday. A chance to really just to get away for a day. Today and tomorrow and Thursday. So we got 3 good work days this week where we'll, like I said, work in fundamentals, and we've got some great work in. And at the end of the practices, on all 3 of these practices, it's all young guys. I mean, I wouldn't call it a scrimmage. We're not tackling, but it's young guys scrimmage, basically, for about 15 minutes at the end of practice. And again, you get to see young guys work and see the improvement they've been able to make so far this year, which has been great. We'll do that for those 3 days. And then on Friday, we're going to give them all Friday. And we're going to be right back in here on Saturday. So we play on Friday. So Saturday is going to be like a Sunday for us. And then it's a normal week from that point forward. And, so I think we'll be ahead of the game on Saturday. So we'll get a little bit more work in on that Saturday practice, what we normally would, 6 days prior to a game. But that's kind of it. So hopefully our guys can refresh and, heal up their bodies. I think we got some dings and bruises from these last 2 weeks. And so this comes at a good time for us to heal up our bodies and be fresh. Again, I was encouraged today by how enthusiastic practice was today. So hopefully we'll get that these next 3 days and we'll improve this week and go into next week excited about going down to Atlanta playing Georgia Tech.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for being on. Appreciate it. Thanks.